Hello.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to us podcasting live on location.
From the official home of JLAC Fitness. I made it festive,
Look,
mostly just for Jill. I don't actually have that in my gym.
it's the season. I brought extra festive. If you're listening, you're not going to see this, but if you're on YouTube, I brought a treat for you. I have to sort myself.
I will describe it. It is a green tube with pom-poms on the top and the front and elf ears. And there's a hashtag. Does it say Elfie?
Yep.
Let me take an Elfie.
I had to bring something festive. I offered my Santa onesie and everything, and Jess said that you're doing too much. So we settled on a tube.
I'm really more like a low-key Christmas person.
I'm not.
We do have festive drinks though in Love is Blind cups. So
You'll never know.
You'll never know if we've edited. We don't edit that hard. I'm not that good at editing. So
You never know. I could drink 14 of these or none. There could be nothing in this cup.
I'm just sipping away. Anyway, so this is our official holiday episode.
Merry Christmas.
Yay. Or happy holidays, however you spend it. Do you have a win for the season or the last week?
I literally thought of one on the way here, and now I can't remember.
I better think of one while you're...
What was it? It was good too, but now I can't remember. Yeah, I got nothing. You go.
My win is putting together this little setup. If you can't see, or if you're not, so we've got the fancy Costco camp chairs,
Which are also on brand.
which I brought in from the garage. I've got the laptop set up on my plyo box. We've got the real microphone on a children's chair. We've got the box lighting. We've got the Christmas tree. We've got the anatomy poster in the background. Vibes are high.
Honestly, it's a great setup.
I think so. I think the only thing that we can really use is maybe some candles or like a little fireplace.
Like set the ambiance.
Yeah. I would prefer if it was soft light and not the stark white box light, but budget cuts.
At least it's on overhead light, because overhead light is never the move.
Which is why I broke out the box lighting. Yeah.
I love that. I still haven't thought of my win that I thought of earlier, but I'll just think of a new one. Well, I got all my clients set up in my app, but that's been an ongoing win. So everybody's ready to go, and I'm in a spot to accept new clients. So that's fun.
Yay.
So if you're listening, it's probably Christmas. So hit me up in the new year. Don't bother me over Christmas. But you're welcome to join. So I think that's the biggest win. And kind of had a rough couple days of my body just being like, oh, we're done with that. Go to bed. Like I slept for like 13 hours on Saturday night and then woke up with a migraine. So my body.
Isn't it funny how your body just like you get through something and then it just like gives up?
Yeah.
It's like, for lack of a better term, it's like, yeah, no.
Yeah. It's like, oh, we're done with that. Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm knocking you up. So we took a little bit of a slow Sunday / slow Monday. So hopefully tomorrow we're feeling 100%. But yeah, I think I talked about that on my story and on TikTok, that I think bodies are interesting, that they're like, I got this. Okay, we're done. Perfect. I'm done. Get it. Then.
Yeah. I think bodies are so interesting.
They'll put up with a lot, and especially during high stress. It was high stress, late nights. It just needed to get done. So
yeah,
it's cool to see how quick your body can be like, okay, we did it. We're done now.
We're out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Well, happy to hear that, because I know when I switched apps, it was like haunted my dreams, and I feel like I could never switch right now because I have so much in this one app, and I'm just like, I just can't.
Yeah, it's never as seamless as you think it's going to be, and it is never as quick as you think it's going to be. Like you get halfway through and you're like, hold on, was this a good idea?
It's not like getting a new iPhone where you just like, like you bump them together and then they just like
Yeah.
it's like a carbon copy of your old one, only nicer.
And shout out to my account manager. I call him just my manager because I think account manager sounds
I
weird.
think your manager makes you sound like a celebrity.
Yeah, I call him my manager. So if you, Adam, if you listen to this, just know I technically lie about your title, but it's fine. He shout out to him because he uploaded every single one of my workout videos into the app for me, and we had a call today, and he said that took me a really long time, and I said, yeah, I know, that's why I didn't want to do it. So shout out to
Yeah,
him.
you're like, literally, I know I did it the first time to
Yeah.
this other app.
Yeah, and I did it gradually as I filmed, so
Yeah.
I didn't want to upload like 300 exercise videos. So shout out to him.
Yeah, that's one of my problems is the videos.
So you really pulled through for me.
Wow.
We love to
Shout
see
out
it.
Adam.
Yeah.
Anyways, so today, because it's the holidays and you're all thinking about your goals and maybe reflecting on the year, we thought we would do a little bit of that, reflect on our goals from last year, and then give you maybe some ideas of what we're going to be trying to accomplish this year.
I'm not gonna lie to you, this toque itchy, so we're taking it off.
And
but,
you made fun of me for not like really appreciating it.
but I just, we had to bring it, but it's had its moment.
It's fine. It's fine. You don't.
Yeah, and I don't know, we were discussing this before. I don't know if we ever officially told our 2023 goals on the pod. I mean,
We do mention them a lot. Though,
Yeah.
So
if you've been
listen-
listening, you could piece together what our goals were this past year. But yeah, what'd you accomplish? Let's start with the good of
The
2023.
good is that I said that I wanted to keep up with consistent lifting and running. And I wanted to make it. And it's so funny. I'm wearing my Sinister shirt today. That is not on purpose.
I did it. Look,
But I wanted to make it to the start line of Sinister, which I ran a leg of this like 7-person relay. I was like, how many legs are there? Sinister 7.
Yeah,
7.
it's in the.
I wanted to make it to the start line injury free. And it's funny because I actually, when I was kind of putting together this little note, I went back because I knew I wrote like a race report blog on my website. And I read the blog and I was like, and I actually commented in the blog that was the first time that had ever happened. Training for like a big endurance event and not feeling like my body could fall apart at any second.
I'm not getting injured during.
Right?
training.
Like I made it through training. I made it through the race. I recovered. I was back running. And then I kind of had a little injury come up, but it was just volume and things. My body turning against me after a stressful moment.
It was like, we're done.
But yeah, I made it to the start line and I actually had like a lot of fun.
I love that.
So yeah, that was a huge win. It's like
Check.
check.
We love to see it. I had like started good, ended up terrible. One of my goals for 2023 was to move, which I did. And now I'd like to move again because I hate my apartment. So we accomplished the goal, but we should have chose better. But we live and we learn. So as much as I love the area I live in, I despise the building I live in.
Right.
But we still technically accomplished the goal.
Yes.
It just didn't quite go as planned.
Yeah.
So
you're currently apartment hunting.
So one of my goals for 2024 is to move. Crazy. And we'll see where I end up. I kind of have, if like staying downtown Edmonton, either that or Vancouver's been in my brain. So
If that happens, I probably gonna have to come see you to do an in-person podcast.
Yeah, a little business expense, but
nobody pays for it.
It's
You
been
write it off.
It's been on the radar, and I know my mom listens, and I've mentioned it to her.
Oh,
so
good.
she might not have thought I meant it seriously, but I guess she will now. So it's been on the radar.
As long as I've known you, you've talked about like living or not even like really not really like staying anywhere for too long.
I just don't think if I don't have to be in Alberta my whole life, why would I be? There's not much that ties me here other than my family. And as much as I love them, Vancouver's not that far. So
yeah, it's a quick plane ride away. And you're just gonna need a really good range.
Yeah. So it's on my radar, because if I'm going to spend the money to live alone in Edmonton, I have a friend in Vancouver who she was like, honestly, I could use a roommate. And I was like, this could work. So we'll see where 2024 takes me, but it's for sure out of my current apartment. We'll see how far out of my current apartment it takes me.
Yeah. One of my goals that I did not achieve, and I feel like people don't talk about this enough. I said that I was going to read 15 books, and I use Goodreads, so it keeps track of everything. I am on number 10, so it's not going to happen.
Close, but
and the reason why it didn't happen is because I ended up reading a very long book in the summer that I really, really, really wanted to like and read. But it wasn't like, so the book is called Up to Speed. And if you've heard of it, it's about it's about some of the like science and data with like female athletes and stuff like that. So you'd think it would sound really interesting. It's not written for somebody in the industry. It's really like basic.
so if I was like knew nothing, you would understand.
Yeah, it's really meant for like the everyday person,
which is great.
Or a man. It would be really great for a man to read,
which we love, but you are neither of those.
And it was very research based, and it was all very well researched. However, it wasn't for me, but I really was committed. I wanted to read it because I listened to a podcast with the author and she sounded really great. It just wasn't for me, but I did stick it out and I did finish it. So that could be the win.
A hot minute.
And then I was really doing well at reading at night before bed. So I would get through like a chapter a night kind of thing. And I've sort of stopped doing that because I'm just in a, like, I think it's just like the change in seasons. I'm like I like sitting on the couch or whatever, and I just like go to bed and I just don't read.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So I didn't quite make it. I should have stuck with my initial goal of saying like, I'll read a book a month and make it 12.
Yeah.
That way it wouldn't have seemed like such a big loss, but I was like, if I can do 12, like I can do. But some of them at the beginning were very short or shorter books or like faster to read. And maybe I will make a couple more books because we're going to start driving to Jasper soon. And that's when I do a lot of my readings in the car. We just haven't traveled in a while. So
that's fair. And I mean, now you know for next year, if you can. Like
next year, my goal is, oh no, sorry. I only read 8 this year. I'm reading this wrong. My next year's goal is 10.
Okay. Fair. And
so
then I think you got to toss yourself a win every once in a while. I talk to clients about this all the time. It's like, toss yourself an easy goal every once in a while. So like if you read 8 this year, 10 should be doable.
I thought 15 books was the easy goal. I have friends who have read like 100 books already. And I'm like, okay. But these friends are also not like toddler parents who are running their own business either. So
I just pulled up my November goals because I remembered I set goals for November on TikTok. Handy, because then it's right here.
It's TikTok.
My goal was to read 2 books. I did not. I haven't even read one. And that's just because I don't know why I said read 2 books in the same month I was redoing my entire client app. Those 2 don't really, like that doesn't really give me a lot of free time. So I'm not really sure why I was like, this is going to be the first month ever that I read 2 books in a month. So maybe I'll try to finish my current book in December, but something I've made a switch of reading as a goal too is I've switched away from like self-help books and like educational books.
Recreational reading is way better.
Because I found myself just being like, I don't want to read this because like we use our brains all day on science, and then to read more science is not always that fun. And I've seen that trend on the internet a lot of like the best thing I did for myself was like stop reading self-help books, because then I also feel like we get in the routine of always feeling like we have to be working on something or changing something or doing more, and that can be exhausting. So I've leaned into like the spicy book side of TikTok, which I'm not mad. I've only read like 1 book of a series, but it was a great first choice. So, we'll keep working on it. And it's hard because I'm trying to get away from physical books. So I got to make some changes because like you buy a book, you read it once and then you don't read it again. So why do I need so many books?
I agree. And I just want to say that I only just found out that like Kindles are also like blue light. And I was like, but then like I'm torn because I don't want a cupboard full of books that I'm not going to read again.
Yeah.
But I want to read before bed. And it's just like two wrongs, right? Like, anyways,
I think we got to find some people that read the same books as us. Cause like my mom and my auntie and my sister like trade books. So that not everyone has to own every book, but like I don't, well, one of my friends, Victoria, she listens to the podcast. So hello.
Hey.
But she lives in Calgary. So I'm like, we mail in books to each other. Like, what's the move here?
Except to mail things.
So
yeah,
maybe every time I go to Banff this winter, I'll just drop off a book to her.
I couldn't agree more with your like stop reading self-help books, because a long time ago I said that I was going to stop reading like health and wellness books, like fitnessy, like work books. And that has been a huge game changer, because if I'm reading to relax, I don't want to be thinking about work.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like we talked about this a little bit with our like business episode, but like sometimes it's easy for us to work all the time, but like you can always be answering your clients' messages. You can always be thinking about what you're going to do next with people. You're always thinking about your next like launch or your next marketing or like whatever, or your app or something like that. And it's just like, sometimes we need a break. We deserve a break. So
yeah. And I've read
that are not about.
Yeah. And like we've read some really great educational books. I'm sure both of us have, but yeah, I think the last like educational book I read, I forget what it was called. Oh, When Your Body Says No, which is a great book, but like I read it in Mexico, which would have been like February last year. And I think that was, or this year. And I think that was the last like educational book I read, because I got through it and it was good. But then I went to pick up the next one, which was like Your Brain on Food, which talks all about how nutrition impacts your brain, which I would still like to get to eventually. But I was like reading like 2 pages at a time. And then I was like, maybe we need to read for fun, not for education.
Yeah. I'm not saying you can't ever read for education, but like, I think your regular reading, like your routine, should be like
day to day should be for fun.
For fun.
Yeah.
For fun.
But all my other November goals I hit: work out 4 times a week, minus this past week, but we're going to give myself
it's not
a
November
pass.
Anymore.
Oh yeah. Perfect. 4 workouts a week, daily supplements, daily movement, high protein breakfast. We did all of that, which is cool. My other 2023, like a good clean win for me, was to work 100% for myself. Because if you listened to the pod earlier in the year, you would have known that I was walking dogs part-time.
Oh yeah,
hanging
I totally
out.
forgot about that.
Yeah, hanging out with the doggos, which I love. And if you're in Fort Saskatchewan, you ever need a dog walker, Fort Dog Fit are your people. And I loved dog walking, but eventually you got to bite the bullet and realize you can't do your business full-time and work for someone else part-time. So
yeah,
we've bit the bullet and haven't looked back. But one of the other dog walkers shared on Facebook today being like this album of her with a bunch of dogs, and it was like, I miss dog walking. And all of us that used to work for Fort Dog Fit were like, me too. So like, it's nice to have a job you love, but you also have to recognize how much spare time you got sometimes.
Yeah, true. Speaking of business, one of my goals last year was to really lean into the business mentorship that I was in, and to like really just like work on the back end stuff for like a year. I would say that's pretty successful. I just had a check-in meeting with the my business mentor, and she was like, you've done like an unbelievable amount of back-end stuff this year. Like, I created a whole new website. I have so many back-end systems. Everything is automated now, like payments, and I have an email list and like all these things. I also filmed 2 webinars and increased my client capacity, as well as like scaled 28 days of strength. And I'm just like, yeah. So like moving forward, my goal is just to like be in my business, not work on the business as much, but just be in it. And then obviously you always want to be growing. So just like increase my capacity for one-on-ones a little bit more. So actually, when you're listening to this, I will say I will be opening one-on-one spots in middle of January-ish.
That's exciting.
So if you're thinking about that, just maybe let me know and I'll put a bookmark in you.
Love that. one of my, I was going to call it superficial. Still a thing I feel weird talking about, but I need to just embrace that it is part of my income and part of my job these days, was to get some brand deals this year. And I don't know why I feel icky talking about it. Like everyone and their dog does brand deals at this point.
I don't think, no, I don't have any, but that doesn't mean that I wouldn't take any.
Yeah, but like anyone on social
Like
media,
TikTok and stuff.
yeah,
For sure.
with the following does brand deals, and it just feels, I need to get over that, and just like it is part of my income.
Just if anybody says anything, just be like, I'm getting like free stuff or they're paying me. So.
Yeah, so that was cool. I worked with some I think pretty big companies in 2023. Like I worked with Ritual, which they do a bunch of vitamins. They're like a subscription-based vitamin company. I worked with Temu, which I feel like everyone's ordered from Temu at this point.
Not me, but that's okay.
Yeah, Temu, HelloFresh, a water filter company based in BC, Santa Via, TC Nutrition, of course, you all know, is always in there. I've had quite a few things sent to me. So it's been cool. And I got humbled by TC's Black Friday. So if you chose to use my code over Black Friday, I thank you. And that's what kind of made me realize that, like, no, this isn't just a fun thing I do. It actually pays my bills. So I need to start being okay with that being part of my income.
I mean, I guess technically I do have I wouldn't call it a brand deal with FTC, but I've been on the crew for freaking ever.
So you make a commission.
I don't actually.
Oh, so you have a discount.
I don't. I have a discount, and people have a code of their own, and I have a code of my own. But I'm actually on the more, it feels weird to say medical advisory, but that's what they call the board. And it's just people who meet and talk about better ways to use the products, how to use the products, how to market them better to people like us. It just means that I'm like more educated than like your age group triathlete who's doing the same thing and having like to post about it on social media and stuff. It just means that I'm like actually a little more actually qualified to talk about the products and things like that. So
that was a big thing I talked to about our athlete manager at TC after Black Friday, actually, because humble brag, I had the most code uses over Black Friday, which was crazy to me because most of the TC athletes have like double, triple, 4 times the amount of followers I do. So I was like, how does this work? But I talked to the athlete manager and he was like, well, you're qualified to talk about stuff. Like, I don't just like, this is no shade to my fellow TC athletes, but I don't just like flex a bicep and hold a tub of protein. And I think that goes a long way, is being able to actually like talk about the supplements and be like, this is how you use it. This is why you should use it. This is what it's going to do for you versus just like, buy this tub of protein and
this is what I use.
And
you too can be just like me.
Yeah. Like, again, that's no shade because that is most sponsored athletes, but it really showed that having the education and the qualifications to promote supplements goes a long way in the industry. So again, if you chose to use my Black Friday code, I appreciate you. And it was, a little bit of a humble, like, no, Jill, this is part of your job.
Yeah.
Not just a fun little thing you do anymore. So that was cool.
Totally. Yeah. Another close but no cigar on my point. It hasn't technically ended yet, but I think I've talked about it on the pod that I'm doing 1,000 hours outside with my kiddo. So we have been tracking pretty hardcore. We just hit 900 the other day, and this is the beginning of December. So if it was warmer here, no problem. We could do 100 hours in a month. We had several 100-hour months from like May to September, even maybe October.
I don't know. I think you should just start sitting outside this month.
Except that she'll stand at the door and be like, I want to go in.
Like, listen, when?
Like, no. So at the risk of, we do have a couple big ski weekends coming up, and I'm not going to say we're not going to try. But goal adjustment, we'll say, is I'll be happy if we hit 950, because that means that if we just had like one more month, we could easily hit 1,000.
Yeah, I just did the math. I'm like, you can do it. And I was like, no, that's like 10-hour ski days.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So we won't quite do it, but it's not like I didn't buy any of the merch or anything like that. You can get like a patch for your backpack or whatever. And I'm like, I don't like, if we don't make it, that's kind of weird.
Removes the pouch.
Yeah, just peel it up. But initially when I set the goal, I was like, yeah, I don't think we can do it, but I'll be happy with like 700.
I remember you saying that.
And to hit like 900 and something, I'm like, that is significantly more when you think about how many hours that actually is. Now, yes, we'll call it a win. However, I did find myself in like maybe September, October being like, oh, we have to go outside, even when it was like not a nice day. And I'd be like, come on, let's go. And I was just like, oh, let's just like log some hours. And I was like, okay, this is not the point.
It's not that
the
serious.
Yeah. And it doesn't really matter if you win or lose this goal.
And nobody knows
like,
if you're winning or losing.
I just sort of found like this old competitive me like creeping in, and I was like, don't force it down. Like, and the other cool goal that I looked at on my little app is that we haven't missed a day where we did purposeful time outside since the end of March, which I think is also really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So we're definitely going to try keep that streak going, even if it means we only do 20 or 30 minutes if it's really cold out. So yes, I will be forcing my child to go outside for at least a little bit, just so I can turn the stopwatch on.
And I mean, lucky for her, it's not absurdly cold. I'm actually
doesn't
concerned with how not cold it is for December. So
also concerned, except that I still have been like wrapping myself up in my parka to go outside with my kiddo so that I'm not sitting there cold.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm for the sake of ski season, I'm a little concerned these days. So
can we just pause for a second and just notice how important it is that we dress the exact opposite colorway? Jill's wearing black leggings, I'm wearing green leggings, Jill's wearing a green shirt, and I'm wearing, well, gray, but that was pretty good, close. I think.
I also had a close, but not quite. I think one of my 2023 goals was to hire a coach. I probably said that at some point.
Yeah, because I don't think you were working with Ethan at the beginning of last year.
Oh yeah, okay. We can go both. I meant like for my business, but like that's also been a win.
That kind of coaching.
It's also been a win to have somebody do my workouts for me. So we appreciate him. But I think one of my 2023 goals, or I'd put it out there somewhere, was to hire a coach like within my business. We didn't.
Oh, but you mean like a coworker or an employee?
Like bring in another human. I think I said that somewhere at some point. I didn't do that. It's still just me, but we're going to call it close because as much as I've talked about transitioning client apps, it's also like a big help on the back end systems of my business. So I have Adam who helps me, and I have like a whole team with this app that can help with social media growth and engagement and all the things. So even if I didn't hire a coach, I still brought someone or a team of someone's into my business, which was a big step. And we're going to call that same, but different.
Yeah, no, I think, I feel like we've talked about this before, but like hiring somebody in your business is probably like the scariest thing, because you need to not only like show them how exactly you would do everything, but you also eventually need them to like think like you.
Yeah.
So that you're not like double checking everything, because to me that would make twice as much work.
Yeah.
When you could just do it yourself. And I know I've talked about this with the business mentorship people too. Here's a pro tip from them that we were talking about is when you do hire, like if you're going to hire like a VA or like somebody like that, look and see if there's anybody in your clients who does that, because they already know your brand and they're already like, they fit the vibe check.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, because I did have a VA.
Like your best bet.
Was that last year that I had a VA? Must have been.
Yes, because she was doing like podcast graphics.
Yeah, stuff. Which again, no shade to her, and I'm not going to name any names, but it just didn't work. It wasn't what I needed. It wasn't actually that helpful because I felt like I couldn't offboard anything to her. Mm-hmm. Whereas I feel like this is a nice happy medium because I still get to do the coaching, which is important to me, but I don't have to do all the other things. which is not important to me. So.
I know some of the podcasts and stuff that I've listened to, and they talk about like outsourcing and stuff, they're like, when you're like ready, or like when you can afford to, offload the things that you hate doing.
Yeah. And that was one of the first things Adam said to me in one of our meetings was, he was like, my job is to let you go be a coach and I'll do the rest. And I said, deal. So close win, but not, it's still in the back of my head. Maybe not for 2024, because I feel like,
well, maybe you won't have to now.
Yeah, I think making this change is going to allow me more space to take on more clients, but maybe like 2025, maybe like before I'm 30, that type of vibe. But honestly, I'm hoping making this change means I can take on the clients I want to and not be overwhelmed with it and not have to be like, something needs to change right now. So we'll see what the year brings with this system and go from there.
Yeah, and that's a terrible feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess like moving forward, I can't remember any of my other goals, but I feel like that's a pretty good, I didn't have very many. So, but moving forward, keeping up with consistent lifting and running. Currently, it's like lift 3 times a week, run 2 to 3 times a week. And then just like, you can see I have a treadmill desk back there. Love it. I often do that and work at the same time, except that like we just put our Christmas tree up. And so the couch vibes are high right now. And we got a new couch this summer. So like,
we love that.
I'm just like chilling and like getting my work stuff on. So keeping up with that. And that leads into my big fitness goal for next year is I signed up for another 30K trail run. Why I signed up for a trail run, I don't know.
Future Jess might be mad at you for that.
If you remember, one of the things I learned most about myself while I was training for Sinister is how much of a roadie I really am.
So you're like, let's do the opposite.
So naturally, I signed up for a trail run.
Doing the opposite.
But here's the kicker, is that it's not in the mountains. It's actually in Edmonton, and it's running on all of my favorite mountain bike trails.
Nice.
So really, I'm going to get to train for this race in my backyard. And I won't be trying to like train for elevation or train for going uphill for 1,000,000 miles, which if you watched any of my Sinister videos, that's pretty much what happened. It was just up. It was just up and up and up. And I still can't believe that it was that much up, but it was. So it's a completely different race, a completely different style of race. It's still 30 kilometers, but this time I think I can keep it to like 40 meters, not like 6.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have any hard set like fitness goals for 2024. I haven't signed up for anything because honestly, I don't usually. Powerlifting was on my radar for a quick minute. I feel like I mentioned that last year. And just kind of fallen off my radar. I just don't think I care enough is part of the problem. And like, I'm not going to go into something that I don't care about. I still think I could be good at it, but I also know that I need to be good at it because over here on this podcast, we're not great at doing things we're bad at. So if I'm going to go into powerlifting, I better have the mental and physical space to take it seriously, or I'm just going to be annoyed with myself. I'm not a person who can like 100% do something for fun, and that probably sounds bad, but especially like sports related, I'm not about to be like, this is just for fun. Like I would want to be good at it.
I get that. I started going to CrossFit.
Right.
I've been to a class, and I went to a class in which had something that I was good at. And did I RX the workout? Absolutely, I did.
You were like, I can do that.
Did I have any business RXing the workout?
No, but you could.
No freaking way. Did I destroy myself? Yes. Yes, I did.
So,
but did I also stop and open snacks for my child at various points during the workout?
Of course.
Also, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, this is what I mean. Powerlifting
I
is
will
like,
never learn.
I don't think I'll ever learn either. Powerlifting is like would be cool, but am I gonna take it seriously enough?
Like maybe if you did like a build to like a meet, and then you were like,
I'm out.
Yeah. And even still, that's like super committed.
Yeah. So
You
we'll
have to
see.
get like a singlet and like there's a lot of like rules in powerlifting.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
So we'll
No
see.
offense to powerlifters.
No,
Your
but
sport's annoying.
it is annoying. And I watch them train because I go to a gym where a lot of them train now. And I'm just like, this kind of takes you like half your fucking Saturday. What are you guys up to? Like when they do like bench squat dead in one day, I'm like, are you guys okay? Like you've been here for hours.
First of all, it's squat bench dead, but whatever.
See, it's not meant for me. Close enough. So we'll see about health and fitness goals. I'm sure I'll think of something, but nothing on the radar right now. A big thing I've been working on and I want to bring into 2024 is like downsizing my life a little bit. I've probably talked about it on the podcast, but it is still one of my life goals to own an adventure van at some point. I feel like I haven't mentioned this in a quick minute. Because I think if I want to bop around, it would be handy to have a house on wheels versus having to like commit to something for a full year because I'd have to go rent. So we'll see. But just downsizing like my clothes and my living things. I saw this thing on TikTok where every time you wear clothes, you like turn your hanger the other way.
I've seen that too.
And then at the end of like 6 months or whatever hasn't been turned, you get rid of. So I'm going to start implementing that. And even when I moved from my townhouse to my apartment, I was like, how do I have so many things? I'm just a small 26-year-old girl. So now I'm like, if Vancouver's on the radar, how much do I really want to take with me that far? So starting to just like downsize the easy things like clothes I don't wear, activities I don't participate in anymore, like getting rid of some of the clutter. In 2024, I think would be cool. And then a more like monetary goal is, again, something I haven't talked about in a hot minute. I lease a car. And we've heard the many tales of Jill and her adventures of leasing a car. If you ever thought about buying a car from Sherwood Park Hyundai, don't. So one of my goals next year is to have enough in my savings account to pay off what will be left. Because I'm on a 5-year lease. And then it turns into a 2-year finance. So my goal has been to have those 2 years saved so that I can just drop the money on their desk and be like, literally never talk to me again. And we're getting pretty close. So I think in 2024, it should be doable to have that saved.
Lovely.
Which still gives me 2 years of my lease to save more. So it's not like I'm like going to save it and then have to pay it like the next day.
Yeah.
You know?
No,
So
I get it.
That's a monetary goal to just have that like set aside and put away, and then I can continue to save for other things. But having that security of being like, I'm done once this lease is up feels nice.
That's a good goal.
So.
If I had to pick, like, I didn't really have a monetary goal, but I will say that like I changed the way that like payments and invoicing works in my business this year. And my goal for 2024 is to like, what was happening before was because of the staggering of the payments, I wasn't really able to like budget like month to month. So this year will be much more predictable and I will actually be able to have like just an organized working budget for the business.
I love that.
And then that will allow me to make bigger contributions to my household, which, as you can see, I already make big contributions to my gym. It's a business expense.
We just read it off.
But yes, I agree. As somebody who moved in the last 2 years, getting rid of stuff is like kind of a sport. And even if I be really ruthless,
like even if maybe I need to invite you over to my apartment and you can
happy to
what's
help.
up?
Happy to help. There's things that we've looked for, like my husband and I'd be like, is there a chance that that thing didn't make the cut?
Yeah.
And my husband's like, oh, I don't know. Like we had these like, so, oh my God, Kate, don't tell her, but we're getting my kid skates for Christmas. She's getting skates and like helmet and like whatever. She's gonna learn how to skate like a good Canadian girl. Yeah. And so I thought that we had these little plastic hockey sticks that were like 3-year-old sized, right? And they were in the garage forever. And I was like, we should take them out and like bat the ball around in the yard. I think Penny would like that too, obviously, right? She's a dog. She's a retriever. Ball.
Retreat.
And so my husband was like, I looked for them for like an hour in the garage. And I was like, is there a chance they didn't make it? And he's like, I think so. And I was like, damn it.
Well, if you need
Who knew?
if you need any hockey related things, I happen to have a giant hockey family. So someone's probably got a your child size stick kicking around somewhere.
Yeah, I need to find, well, I need outdoor sticks for us too, because I have like a stick, but it's kind of nice. So it's really more of an ice hockey stick.
Not a
Anyways,
ball hockey stick.
Yeah, but I think I don't know how skating's gonna go with a 2-year-old. Skiing I can do, but skating, I mean I used to play, but I don't know that it's like, it's not, certainly not my forte. I busted out my helmet just in case.
Just in case. You need it out there. Yeah. So we'll see what 2024 brings all around. My 2023 win is I finally finished my ski setup, which you would be proud of.
I was, and I am happy to report that I was part of that.
You were part of that for many
More
steps.
of an advisory role than anything. But I did send Jill a Snapchat on how to size ski poles because she didn't have that.
And then I did it in the store, and it was meant to be. I don't know if I told you, but the ski poles are like in my brand color. There was only one pair left, and they were in my size, and they were on sale. So I said, you're coming home with me. So ski poles were the final piece to my ski setup that I've been working on for like 3 years. So we're happy that we have skis and a helmet and poles and new boots that I haven't got to use yet. So we're ready to shred whenever the snow would like to show up.
Just ready. It can snow anytime. Yeah. Yeah, I am proud of that actually.
I feel like a real skier now that I'm like, let me grab all my things to go skiing. I don't have to rent anything. I don't have to borrow anything. I can just show up and ski.
Yeah.
And it takes a hot minute. So if you're building a ski or snowboard setup, you don't have the budget to do it all at once, give yourself time. Like I rented skis and boots for a while. And then last year I just rented boots, which places don't like to do. Fun fact.
Yeah. But I would say like, if you're gonna do,
probably go the other way.
Yeah, if you're gonna get one thing, I would get your own boots.
Yeah,
get your own boots, get your own helmet.
It took some convincing to rent just boots from places because they were like, we don't usually do this. I was like, well, I need some boots. So luckily, I bought the skis from the same place I rent boots from, so they were like, fine. But now, and then buy your things in the summer or like end of season when things go on sale, because my boots were like, I have boots that are way too fancy for me. Like I have like K2, like fancy boots.
Do you have like the boa boot, like with the?
No, they don't twist, but they like unclip at the back, like they're like backcountry and downhill boots. The guy's like, these are probably too fancy for you, but like you're not gonna fall out of your boots. I mean, and I said, I'll take them.
Yeah, mine look simple, but they are like, there was a TikTok trend that I just saw that was like, show off the most expensive shoes that you own, and I was like, ski boots easily.
Yeah, but mine were on sale for like $400, which somebody's gonna be like, that's a lot, but like those boots originally were like $950, so like a deal, and they perfectly match my like one piece. And the guy tried to sell me on a cheaper / less performance pair, but I was like, those don't match my setup, so I'm not buying them.
Yeah, the thing about ski boots is it's really more important that they're comfortable.
Yeah.
Because if they're not, you are going to hate your.
And that's what I'm excited for, because renting boots, you're in someone else's foot and it just doesn't feel right. And like my toes were always falling asleep. So we're going to be living in luxury. But if you have 2023 goals that you crushed or didn't get to and you want to share them with us, let us know. If you have 2024 goals that you want us to help you keep accountable, also let us know. Them. We would love to hear.
And if you want us to share them with the world to keep you more accountable, we can do that too.
Yeah, we'll throw a question box up. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays,
however you celebrate, be safe, and
I hope your food is great and you get presents.
Eat the good food. Eat the good food.
And if your family's rude to you, I saw this TikTok on my way here that it was like, if your family comments on your weight, reply with, that's an interesting thing to choose to say out loud. Or eat them, punch them in the face. The choice is yours. Whichever direction you want to take, let us know what you choose.
All right, guys.
Cheers to 2024.
Bye.